Hey everyone, Tony D and Little Joan here. I guess you'd call this another Hollywood hot take, but so much going on today. It's kind of overwhelming. The other Hollywood thing that happened today is they're going to do some kind of either reboot or sequel or spin-off, all-female Pirates of the Caribbean starring Margot Robbie. Now, there are a few female pirates from history that they could use, and that would be fun. I don't think they're actually going to use a real female pirate, and it's unclear if Jack Sparrow will be in the mix and Johnny Depp. No one knows. I mean, it just seems crazy to develop this for a lot of reasons, because they're also simultaneously rebooting the franchise. I don't understand. Why would you reboot the franchise? The whole franchise was Johnny Depp. I mean, that's the franchise. And like, didn't a Caribbean Pirates movie come out like 2 or 3 years ago before the whole Amber Heard stuff broke? Maybe 5 years at the most. I mean, that's a pretty recent movie to reboot. I mean, a pretty recent franchise. And Johnny Depp is still very much in his prime and can play Jack Sparrow pretty much until he's old and gray. So, and who are you going to get exactly to replace Johnny Depp? What actor's going to volunteer for that suicide mission? Oh, I know, he's going to be woke and, you know, a person of color, because woke, and it's just somehow not going to make it as much money because, well, you'll blame it on the toxic fandom, I know. Oh, the toxic fans, they're everywhere when the movie doesn't succeed like you imagine it should. And then this whole Margot Robbie thing, you know, I'd be down for a female pirate movie. There is some history to female pirates. I'd certainly be down for a movie where Margot Robbie was in a nice tight outfit. But this is the woke people doing this, and they already kind of frumped her up for Birds of Prey, which, by the way, would have done much better if you'd put her in a sexy, hot outfit like they did in the Suicide Squad movie, because that's the whole reason the character was like super popular. Every fangirl on the comic book con circuit was wearing that outfit. So, I mean, you could say it was misogynist to have a costume like that, and men are objectifying women, but how about these women? How about these young girls who were wearing this costume? What are they doing? They loved it. They would do the tattoos, everything, top to bottom. They loved the detail, and they love, like, girls, half the appeal of cosplay, it's a lot of it's women, because they love dressing up. They love getting attention. They love doing the outfits and making clothes. And, you know, that's part of the fun for them. When I used to do the vampire LARPs, that was part of the fun for women to play. It was a vampire LARPs, live action role playing, kind of like what Antifa does, only fun. Everybody got to be a vampire, and the women really loved it because they got to dress a lot of times, elegantly, or in ways that they wouldn't normally dress. Sometimes they were punk vampires, or, you know, it was a whole goth thing. It was the 90s, late 90s. So they loved it. And it'd be very sexy, and they you know, the whole vampire society thing was like having a little like dinner party almost. Although without the food and the money and the wealth, we just had to pretend. Yeah, I mean, everything now coming out of Hollywood and out of the wokeness is like, how can we suck the fun out of this? How can we make sure everything is uniform and boring? Now it's this. Now it's like, well, we have to prove to you that an all-female Pirates movie will be even better than Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp. Okay, good luck with that. The whole movie was built on Depp. His character made the whole movie. I was a huge fan of the first movie. It's a great movie. It's a lot of fun. Depp's character's hilarious from beginning to end. Um, and then it started to wear on me after that. But man, that first movie, it's like perfect, and it's big, it's fun. Um, now you're gonna woke it all up with a female reboot, Margot Robbie. Are you trying to ruin her career? Stop ruining Margot Robbie's career. Just let her be in a cool movie where she gets to wear a sexy outfit. I mean, yeah, you can make her the main character if you want. I got a screenplay she'd be perfect for, by the way. She fights vampires in it. And she could be sexy. People like that. I know, woke Hollywood. I know you're making everything. The new average demo is for like a middle-aged lesbian or something. I swear to God, that is the demo I've heard tossed about behind the scenes. Like the new demo, instead of 18 to 35-year-old males, it's something like, I don't think it's 18 to 35. It's older. It skews older. It's like 25 to 45 lesbian. It's crazy. It's crazy. And it's not that lesbians aren't an audience. They are. But, it's a little narrow. It's a bit narrow, I think. And, add the wokeness to that, and you're really just sort of tunnel visioning yourself right into another flop. So you gotta broaden it a little bit. Let people have fun again. Every actor who's not exactly like the character they play is now quitting every cartoon in the world. So thanks a lot for ruining animation, you woke morons. I will not forgive that one. Oh, I will remember that one. I love cartoons, and you've ruined them for me. So I've got a lot of free time now that I can't watch cartoons. So keep that in mind. The other thing, what was the other thing that happened today? Shit, I already forgot. You woke morons are trying to tear down another statue. This one is the Lincoln Emancipation statue. It portrays Lincoln freeing a slave, and of course, this has nothing to do with slavery or racism. They're just tearing it down because they're woke morons who adhere to this woke ideology. And so they got into the park, and there was an older black guy who had a sign with a website on it. It was like DC Tours or something. And he was also dressed like a tour guide, and he had a megaphone. And he was trying to talk some sense into the crowd, and God bless him for trying, but they weren't having it. And the crowd was mostly against him. And here's the weird thing. Like, first off, there were more Black Lives Matter black protesters than I've ever seen, because a lot of times you see these protests, they're mostly white. Well, this one had a fairly significant portion of black protesters from what I could see, or at least they went up to the older guy and tried to talk to him. One guy was defending him because he kept stealing his megaphone, but it was a white kid that was stealing the megaphone. And let me tell you, the optics on that looked really bad. You're there to tear down a statue because you feel it's racist, and then a black guy's going to talk to you and you steal his megaphone. I mean, do you understand how that looks, you dumb idiot? That looks really bad. It looks really horrible. But there was like one black protester. He was trying to be respectful. He returned the megaphone. The kid stole it back right away, and it was just utter chaos. And then there was like a guy. He was a black protester too, but he was super woke, and he was trying to wind up to lecture the crowd, and he was winding up like, "This is really important, everyone." No one is listening to him. It's just absolute chaos. People just screaming at each other. He's just like, now this is very important. Never got to his point. And I would question why he even thought anyone would listen to him in that sea of, God, it's just chaos. It's just chaos. And a lot of it's coming from the white protesters, which is so odd. A report came out today that said 46% of the protesters are white, and only about 17% are black, like 8% are Asian. I forget the rest of the racial breakdown, but it's bizarre, right? It's like, this is Black Lives Matter. It's like, shouldn't this be mostly black protesters? It was when it was an organic movement in Ferguson. It was nothing but black protesters. Now it's like every woke college student in the United States has suddenly decided, I'm a Black Lives Matter protester. Oh, yeah, and I'm an Antifa, but I'll keep that part secret because I'm a communist and I'm trying to bring about the destruction of the state. And mom and dad will be proud. I don't know what these people are thinking. I guess they're just so caught up in this. Tim Pool calls it a woke religion. I think if there's a distinction between religion and cult, I think it's more of a cult, and I think it's more of a trend. I don't think it has any legs. I don't think it could sustain itself as a religion, even a faux one that's secular, if you know what I mean. It's not a religion in the sense of a supernatural being. It's a religion in all the other ways, I don't think it has any legs. I just don't. I think that's why I keep calling it a trend, because I think once the trend dies, and I think the trend will die once the Democratic Party changes gears. They'll just abandon all these woke morons. They'll abandon them like a hot rock. That'll be it. And the people who are just being woke because that's the new hot thing, they'll just switch gears too, because they don't have any principles. It's all about winning. It's all about, being against Trump. It's all about being popular and virtuous. And it's not about any kind of principle. It's not about any kind of gain. The only gain they want is they want people to like them. That's the gain. And they see that as, and instead of people actually liking them, what they're doing is they're kind of intimidating people, right? So it's like, agree with me or you're racist. And then scared people go, oh, yeah, of course I agree. And then it's like, yeah, I'm liked. Because you agree with me, I assume you like me too. And we're friends, and we're going to just be friends all the time. Even though, I've kind of subtly intimidated you into bowing down to this orthodoxy. And it, the other problem with it too, it's leaked into the workplace big time. All these corporations are adopting these woke sort of patterns, and it hurts them. It hurts them because it actually creates racial tensions where none existed before. And then it also divides people by race. And I think it makes people want to quit that environment as well. They'd rather go somewhere else where race isn't the factor in hiring. And then what ends up happening is you end up promoting people who may be capable. Sometimes they're not, sometimes they are. But the problem is you've given them this extra bit of power that's enabling them to not necessarily give you their best work. Why work your butt off when you're unfireable? Like, do you want to work? Like, if you get a job and you put in 40 hours a week and you're unfireable and no one can criticize you and you just keep getting raises, do you want to work more? Are you going to put in extra effort? Are you going to spend an extra 2 hours a day, finishing that project? You're unfireable. Why would you? And in fact, you do the opposite, right? You start leaving early. Yeah, why not? Nobody says anything. They can't. And they can't fire you. It'll be a lawsuit. So it actually is to the detriment of these companies and to their employees, because you're actually encouraging them to not give their all anymore because there's no pressure on them. There's the opposite of pressure. If anything, they might as well just take you for a ride. I would. Sure, I would. If I was just working some regular job, why wouldn't I want to leave early and tell my boss to go F himself? Why wouldn't you? That's the American dream. I'm unfireable? Huh, that's awesome. I'm going home. Why are you going home? No reason. I don't feel like working today. That's what you're going to get. And it doesn't matter what race you are, that is power. And power corrupts. And absolute power corrupts absolutely. So, yeah, that's where we're at. But don't despair. Don't despair. These woke idiots can't sustain this forever. The wheels are coming off the cart, and they are going to jail. And it may be a fight, but it's a fight they're going to lose because they don't have leadership and they don't really have a plan other than to destroy everything. And if you just hang on and remember to vote in November, I think you're going to see a big change. I think you will. All right, that's it. Say goodnight, Joan. Good night, Joan.